Question number 1. What are the objectives of RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement? RCEP Agreement Chapter 1, Article 1.3 says objectives of RCEP are to establish a modern, comprehensive, high-quality, and mutually beneficial economic partnership framework, to progressively liberalize and facilitate trade in goods. How? By elimination of tariff and non-tariff barriers on substantially all trade in goods among the parties. To progressively liberalize trade and services among the parties. How? By substantial elimination of restrictions and discriminatory measures with respect to trade and services among the parties, and to create a liberal, facilitative, and competitive investment environment in the region. Question number 2. What does RCEP cover? RCEP agreement includes trade in goods, trade in services, investment, economic and technical cooperation, intellectual property, competition, dispute settlement, e-commerce, SMEs, and other issues. Question number 3. What are those not covered by RCEP? RCEP agreement says nothing about labor rights and environmental protection. This is one of the criticisms about RCEP. Question number 4. What can RCEP do? RCEP is expected to eliminate about 92% of tariffs on imports within 20 years. The biggest impact of RCEP is possibly the new rules of origin, which will officially determine where a product comes from. An analyst says these rules of origin will attract foreign investment. RCEP brings together countries that usually have difficult diplomatic relationships. A notable example is the relationship between China and Japan. Question number 5. RCEP is composed of 15 or 16 countries. RCEP negotiations were launched in November 2012 between 10 members of Association of Southeast Asian Nations and 6 Association of Southeast Asian Nations free trade agreement partners such as Australia, China, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, and India. So that's 16. However, India withdrew from RCEP negotiations in November 2019. At present, RCEP has 15 participating countries. Question number 6. How big is RCEP? According to 2019 data from World Bank, RCEP members account for combined GDP of $25.8 trillion, almost a third of global GDP. RCEP is bigger than the other 2 trade blocs, namely United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement with 24.37 trillion GDP, and the European Economic Area with 18.85 trillion GDP. RCEP is the biggest free trade agreement in the world at present. Without India, RCEP counts for 30% of the world's population. That's 2.3 billion people, about 30% of the global GDP, and over a quarter of global trade in goods and services, amounting to $12.7 trillion US. RCEP is also the first ever FTA between the largest economies in Asia, namely China, Japan, and South Korea. Analysts say even without India, the present 15 RCEP participating economies will grow for about 50% of global output by 2030. Question number 7. Why India withdrew from RCEP? Reports said India left RCEP over concerns that its domestic industries would be devastated by cheaper agricultural and dairy products from Australia and New Zealand and manufactured goods from China. Lower tariffs could hurt local producers as they compete against relatively cheaper goods from other countries. Reports said that for many years, India has chronic and large trade deficit with China. Removing tariff barriers for Chinese imports would further worsen the situation. Question number 8. What is the impact of India dropping out from RCEP? Analysts said it would be lost opportunities for both sides, India and RCEP. If India stays in RCEP, it could have gained 1.1% in real GDP by 2030. Not joining RCEP, India is likely becoming less attractive as an alternative production base versus Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Analysts said not joining RCEP, India gives China a complete control over the biggest trading bloc in the world. Question number 9. Can India join RCEP in the future? RCEP Agreement Chapter 20, Article 20.9, titled Accession, says that any state or separate customs territory can join RCEP 18 months after the date of entry into force of this agreement. RCEP entered into force on January 1, 2022. This means that new members can join starting July 2023. However, Chapter 20 has a footnote that says, notwithstanding this sentence, this agreement shall be open for accession by India as an original negotiating state from the date of entry into force of this agreement. This means that India can join RCEP anytime if they want to. Question number 10. Why is it a wise decision for India not joining RCEP? Access to new sources of capital gain, new technologies, and new markets will benefit India if they join, but joining RCEP will give additional foreign competition for India. There's also ongoing border tension between India and China. Although India has valid reasons not to join RCEP, reports say going to a full-blown protectionism is not recommended for India. India should take time to fix its domestic problems before further opening up to trade. Question number 11. What RCEP means for SME? RCEP recognizes the importance of inclusivity, and that applies especially to SMEs. To increase the ability of SMEs to benefit from RCEP Agreement Chapter 14, Article 14.1, says the parties will promote information sharing, discussed in Article 14.2, and cooperation, discussed in Article 14.3. SMEs, including micro-enterprises, make up more than 90% of business establishments across all RCEP members. Question number 12. What is the impact of RCEP to China, Japan, and South Korea? RCEP represents the first FTA signed between China, Japan, and South Korea. The three countries account for about 24% of the world's economy, with a yearly trading volume of over USD 720 billion. Korea and China export their farm products to Japan. Japan's exports of auto parts is 90% going to China. China has exports of electrical machinery and equipment and metal products to South Korea. China has exports of certain textiles, chemical, and plastic products to Japan. All of these will benefit from tariff concessions. Trade volume between the three countries could increase considerably. Question number 13. Which countries are most benefited from RCEP? Reports said South Asia will benefit significantly from RCEP, $19 billion annually by 2030. According to a research paper published at World Bank site, having a scenario where there are reductions of tariffs, non-tariff measures, and trade costs, the countries that will benefit the most are Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Malaysia. Because Northeast Asia, which includes Japan, China, and Korea, already has existing free trade agreements with RCEP partners, they are the ones who are the least benefited from RCEP. Question number 14. What are the criticisms of RCEP? Analysts said tariffs among the RCEP member countries are already low due to existing bilateral or multilateral trade deals among them. More than 70% of trade among the 10 Association of Southeast Asian Nations countries are already transacted with zero tariffs, so the direct economic benefits of RCEP are limited. Additional reductions of tariff under RCEP will only come into force gradually. This means benefits of RCEP would take years to materialize. RCEP lacks provisions for protecting the environment and workers. Question number 15. Why Taiwan is not part of RCEP? Taiwan applied to join a different trade bloc, which is the CPTPP. So at this moment, it's unlikely Taiwan would join the RCEP. Analysts said there's an increasing number of countries that want to have friendly ties with Taiwan due to increasing opposition toward China. This will somehow improve the chances of Taiwan of joining the CPTPP. Reports said that RCEP has limited impact to Taiwan because Taiwan already has tariff-free status for 70% of its exports to RCEP members. Helps in reducing the impact of being not part of the RCEP is that many Taiwanese exporters have relocated their investments in the Southeast Asian countries. I hope you enjoy and learn a lot from this video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell icon for more updates. To all learners, thanks for watching. For related videos, click the links in the description box below or click these end screens.